So I know it's very difficult to hold still and do the longer holds in a practice during stressful times of the year, which include the holidays and the vast majority of other times, it seems, these days. So this is designed as a sequence that will unwind you quickly to a place where you can hold still and get that little bit of rest you might need for your body and your mind. So you're going to start in child's pose today. I'm here with Papo and Emily, and you're not really going to need to modify a terrible amount. We're going to move pretty quickly. Right, so child's pose with your arms reached out in front of you. And just have your arms shoulder distance apart and elbows straight. Then press your palms evenly down into the floor. Let your arm bones, the lower and the upper portion, lift and rebound up to the ceiling. Find some width across the base of your neck, and you'll do that by rolling your outer arms down, spreading your shoulder blades across your upper back. And then see if you can walk your fingertips a little further forward so you lengthen the sides of your body. But you just keep a tiny bit of space and relaxation at the base of your neck or your inner shoulder. And curl your toes under and push your hips up and back to downward facing dog right from here. And once you're in down dog, you can do a little pedaling back and forth of your feet. So bend one knee, straighten the other, back and forth. And just start to cultivate that breath that you're going to need as you move. So long, even inhales and exhales. Good. Right, and then straighten both of your knees out. And walk your hands all the way back to meet your feet. And once your hands hit the floor just beyond your toes, bend your knees somewhat, grab your elbows, hang yourself forward. So the trick to opening your hamstrings is to let your pelvis tilt up and over. And for some people, it's not a lot of bend that has to happen. For some, it's a lot. So get your pelvis to tip over so that your abdomen and your ribs touch your legs. And then you'll try to keep that and work slowly to straighten your knees over time. And then release your fingertips down to the mat. And inhale, pull your chest forward and look up. And exhale, walk yourself out into downward facing dog. And find that anchor of your hands, press them down, knees straight, and then inhale, glide into plank pose. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. And then pull your shoulders slightly beyond your wrists. And exhale, lower halfway into chaturanga. Take a breath in, and then exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Right, move your wrists back so that they're under your elbows or by your waist, toes pointed, and then inhale, pull your chest forward into cobra pose. Arch between your shoulder blades, keeping your toes and hip points pressed down. You can either stay here or inhale all the way into up dog. Straighten your arms, straighten your legs as well. Good. And then exhale, press up to either table pose and down dog or right into downward facing dog from here. Good. And then look forward at your hands. Bend your knees. Step or hop your feet to the front of your mat. Now we'll really get moving. Inhale, chest wide, look forward. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, bring yourself up to standing, reach your arms out, up, and alongside your ears. And then exhale, hands to your heart, mountain pose. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold all the way down. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, chest wide, and then exhale, step your left leg back, lower your left knee to the mat, shift your hips back and straighten your right leg out, be on your right heel, and then spread your collarbones wide, resting your upper back into your chest. And then just folding any amount from your hip crease without collapsing your front body. And then bend your right knee. Step your back foot forward to meet your right foot, feet together again. Then inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, bring yourself all the way back up. Reach your arms overhead. And exhale, hands to your heart. Again, inhale, arms up, second side. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold down. Inhale, chest wide, look forward. And then exhale, send your right leg back, drop your knee, shift back, straighten your left leg. Be on your left heel, toes face the ceiling, and then inhale, chest wide and look up. And exhale, fold any amount from your left hip. You just want to find that sense that your front body is not collapsing, that idea of shrinking like you would do if you were standing for a really long time or seated in a bad chair. Finding the effort of pulling your chest forward. And then bend your left knee, curl your back toes under, step your back foot to the front. Feet together, inhale, chest wide. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, come all the way up, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, widen, look forward. And then exhale, go through a vinyasa and end up back in downward facing dog. Good. Okay, and then just one exhale to take you back. Build a little heat. Look forward, bend your knees, step or hop to the front. Inhale, chest wide. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring yourself all the way up, arms overhead again. And exhale, hands to your heart. Right? Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, chest wide, look up. And then exhale, step your left leg back again. That's your right leg. Spin your back heel flat. Right? And then walk yourself a quarter turn to your left. Turn both of your toes to face the left side of your mat and straighten your knees. Okay? So be in a wide-legged forward fold. And then inhale, pull your chest forward and look up. Lengthen your front body again. And exhale, fold from your hips without shrinking your front body. If your elbows are bent, move your hands back so your arms look like chaturanga. Lift up through your thighs, inner, outer, fronts and backs. Make sure your heels are behind your second toe. They're there. And then inhale, pull your chest forward. And then exhale, walk yourself a quarter turn back around to the front of your mat. Come into a high lunge where you started. And then step your left foot to the front. Feet together, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, come all the way up, reach your arms overhead again. And exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Now that they know where we're going, it's a surprise. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look forward. And then exhale, step your right leg back this time, spin the heel down, walk a quarter turn to your right, parallel your feet off. And then this time with your index finger and middle finger, hook your big toes. Inhale, lengthen your front body out and hug your outer hips together. And then exhale, fold without shrinking again. That effort of cultivating a back bend in your upper spine as you create a forward fold at your hips. If your elbows are bent, again, draw them out to the sides. Try not to use your thumbs as kickstands. I laughed really hard when somebody told me that the first time. And then inhale, pull your chest forward. And exhale, walk yourself quarter turn back to the left, come into your high lunge, step your right foot to the front, feet together. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, fold all the way back down. This time, inhale, bend your knees, sink your hips, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, push yourself up to standing and bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, bend your knees, sink back, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, legs straight. Inhale, chest forward and wide. And exhale, vinyasa or step into down dog if you'd like to skip the vinyasa. Good. And then from down dog, this time step your right foot forward, spin your back heel flat to the mat. Inhale, take one big breath up into warrior one. And exhale, bring your hands back down to the floor, step into plank and vinyasa or down dog. And then left side, once you're in down dog, right away, left foot, glide it forward. Right heel down, inhale, warrior one, reach up. And exhale, hands back down, step back, and go through vinyasa all the way back into down dog. And then once you're in down dog, walk your hands all the way back to your feet again. This time, hook your big toes like you did in the wider fold. Inhale, pull your chest forward, hug your upper legs together, and then exhale, fold down and draw your elbows to the sides. Good. And get your shoulders away from your ears. Start to take longer cycles of breath. And try to hold still. And still maintain a good amount of work in your body, even though you're finding a little bit more softness in your breathing. And then inhale, pull your chest forward, look forward. And exhale, walk yourself all the way out to downward facing dog. And then look forward and step or hop through to seated. And then lie all the way down on your back. Bend your knees, put your feet on the floor, and have your arms alongside your body. We're just going to do one back bend first, and then we'll do the rest really cooled down. So feet pressed down, On an inhale, lift your hips up away from the floor. If you want something a little milder, just wiggle your shoulders under and grab the edges of your mat. And if you have bridge pose in you, wiggle your shoulders under and interlace your fingers. But again, it's not necessary to do the full big bridge pose at this point. Just a little bit of pressing your feet down, sending your tailbone to the backs of your knees as you hug your legs parallel with one another. And find that little bit of an arch in your upper back to widen your collarbones. And then separate your arms and slowly lower yourself all the way down. And then from here, just bring your feet to mat distance, knock your knees together. And you can either have your arms alongside of you if you like that, or hands on your belly is a good choice too. And just start to watch your breathing moving under your hands, or feel it moving in your chest if your hands aren't on your torso. And just notice if it's hard to hold still, if it's easier now that you're here after a little bit of practice. And just watch the swirling in your mind. And it's my favorite analogy. It will always be that your thoughts and what's happening in your head are much like a hurricane looks on the map that they show on the weather report. And your thoughts are just that constant swirl. And if you're standing in that swirl, it's really hard to see anything but all the stuff that's flying around you. But if you can choose to stand in the very center of the storm by putting your attention on your breathing here, then it becomes a little bit more clear that the thoughts aren't really happening. The only thing that really is you're lying on your mat and you're breathing. And that you can put the effort into trying to hold that concentration. And it might make everything a drop quieter. And sometimes it's just this tiny amount of quiet, and sometimes it's a really big amount. But just begin to look for it. And then hug your knees into your chest and pay attention to your breathing in your body as you hug your knees in. You can feel what's happening in your hips and your back. And then roll yourself off to your side and press up. And you're going to grab hold of your blanket that you have rolled up into a long log and place it lengthwise across your mat. And you're going to lie back up and over it so that your entire upper back touches the floor. And you'll take your arms out to the side like goalposts. And then stretch your legs out in front of you into Shavasana. And if that feels like it's too much on your lower back, you can bring your legs back into the position they were in a moment ago. Knees bent, feet wide, knees together. And then just go back to the process of starting to notice your body. And I like sometimes just to scan from my feet all the way up to the crown of my head to see how I feel. If there's places that I'm unintentionally holding on to the muscles, and seeing if I can soften them so that I'm more relaxed physically. But that can sometimes make you feel a little sleepy, I'll be honest. Sometimes my head nods a little bit when I do that. So you have to think about finding that concentration point in your breath, watching it move in and out, and really noticing it, paying attention to it, so that your body is relaxed, but you balance that ease with some work of concentration. And take rest in those 2 points for just a number of cycles of breath. You're welcome to stay in this position for as long as you have time for. And when you're finished with lying here and you have to get up, and you'll hug your knees into your chest. And reach your right arm back overhead and roll yourself off to the right. And just pause and use your right arm to support your head. And then use both hands, press yourself up to a cross-legged seat, And just close your eyes once you get there and rest your hands on your thighs. And then once you're there, become still again in your body and just notice your mind. Put it on your breath or how you feel sitting up. And at least take the awareness with you once you leave your mat that your breath is always there to pay attention to, that you can slow down and become more aware of what's happening in front of you if you use that as a tool. And then always thank yourself for getting on your mat and putting the effort into both the poses and the portion at the end. And join your hands together in front of your heart. Lift your chest up and bow your chin down. And then let your head lift and your eyes open.